that, I'm going to paint you a picture.
Welcome to the Laser Stores podcast, the number one podcast. If Matt's mom is the schmutz expert, she is.
The schmutz.
Oh man, this fucking tie-dye shirt makes me look fat as shit.
That's the problem. Yeah. Is the shirt.
That was messed up. Anyway, yeah, I got tired of sounding like shit every week. I was like listening to the recordings. I was like, damn, I sound awful on my own show. It's unacceptable. So I brought home one of the Q9Us and I feel good about it so far, but I don't know. We'll
Why was that a question mark? Yeah, I feel good about it.
I don't know, because I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't know. What's up to everybody in chat? Thanks for joining us live. I rolled in. I'm kind of scattered. When am I not, honestly? But I rolled in about 26 seconds before we started the show. So
it's actually 28 seconds later than I thought you'd be here.
That's fair. I'll take it. I'm joined by Matt and Kyle. What up, guys?
Hey.
Yo.
I got a lot to talk about today. I'm super stoked. I've got all kinds of lasers just all over the place.
I'm excited to see this list. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like this isn't like a buying guide episode. My headphones are so
I like the spicy.
Hot.
I'm waiting for the spicy.
Oh yeah, Yeah, you like that
spicy takes. I was like,
dude,
oh, what's it gonna do?
Miranda sent me a screenshot today of Facebook Marketplace, and somebody bought like a gallon of Frank's Red Hot, and they were like, "I'm giving this away for free. It's too spicy for me."
I don't think it was red hot. I think it was more of like a dark orange hot. Would anyone like to purchase this?
I love Red Hot.
Dude, well, there's a gallon of it for free down the street from my apartment.
I feel like it's just going to be in your bathroom, like when you brush your teeth.
I will not be picking that up. I mean, God knows what Miranda will do, but you know, I thought she sent it as a joke, but it could have perhaps been a serious suggestion.
Yeah, it might have just been like a pickup list. Like, hey, I've already told them you're coming. You should go over there. Like,
yeah, she was really just asking me to grab it on the way home.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's we're getting to that time of the year. It's fourth quarter basically, and it's time for people to open their wallets. So I've decided that means it's time for me to actually do all of the reviews that have been piling up in my shop since early January. After the show today, I am going to do my absolute best to get the Lumos review out for you guys. It's completely edited for time, so like the audio is done, and I've got about like half of the footage laid in. I'd really like to finish it for tomorrow morning. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or if I'm being crazy, but I'm going to make an effort to have that out for you guys tomorrow, and then that'll be followed up by the R1, the R2, and then the Algo Laser Pixie. It's actually one of my favorite lasers of the year. I'm really excited to share that one with you guys. If you want to, if you're curious, we're going to be talking about it on the show tonight because I'm sure the guys are going to have questions for me from playing around with everything. What?
I'm literally reading the chat, and Bunny Washer just said Ghost Pepper Man wipes because they're talking about the extra hot in the chat.
Stupid.
Gross.
But if you're interested, you can head over to makearmy.io and check out the buying guide. All 4 of those reviews are up, so you can read them right now. So if you want to read them, you can. You may need to read them because if you get seizures easily, the flashing blue diode lights in just about all of these episodes is, frankly, it's intolerable. I mean, it's awful for me, and I don't get seizures. I don't have epilepsy, so.
Thank you for the warning there,
bro. The first 20 seconds of the video just has to be like a seizure warning screen because especially on the Lumos with the scanning blue light, it's just like obscene. So you know what's obscene? Saving 15% off almost everything on jpplus.com. That's Johnson Ballistics Plus. Yeah, the sponsor of the show.
Are they the sponsor of the show?
Yeah, they sponsor the show. They help keep the lights on. They help pay paychecks, and they always send us really delicious goodies in the mail that we get to check out. Christmas is coming up, guys, and it is time to stock up for that. It's been time to stock up for that, but if you haven't done it, you're really sleeping on it. One of the really interesting things that I finally got around to checking out was the gold and like holographic tumblers that they sell. Rhiannon, when she wrapped up the episode on the LBT spray, she jumped right into the next JP Plus episode for the month, which is entirely about those tumblers. And it's been really, really cool watching her work with them. They are awesome. They're really, really clean and super pretty. I'm really annoyed. I tried to do I didn't do anything. Rhiannon did all the work for this, but I suggested like a Louis Vuitton style knockoff, and it's like a grid of little crowns and little LEs, like all the way around the cup, like a full wrap. We did like 4 of them, and not a single one came out. And I think it's because, especially the white ones, required multiple passes. We got the Rotoboss in there. I'm doing them on the Mira. I don't know if multiple passes sounds right to you guys. It's been so long since I've done tumblers, but because of the pattern, it is stepping like super often, because it'll do one little row of like the tiny icons, and then it'll have to take a step, and then it'll do another row, and it'll take a step, and it'll do another row and take a step. And every single one of those steps is like extra violent for some reason, and I need to tone that down. Because
your acceleration is cranked.
Yeah, the acceleration's cranked, which is fine for the Mira when you're doing, XY stuff. But when you're doing the rotary, dude, I think I'm just like losing it on those steps.
I'll be right back. I'm going to show you what it should look like. I got you.
Yeah, normally 1 or 2 steps in like a tumbler job I don't think is that big of a deal. But because I'm doing like 20 in this job, I think just the odds are against me, like I'm doing so many steps between the rows of little pictures that by the time I get all the way around the cup and then it rewinds back to the beginning position to start the second pass, I think I'm just like getting off a little bit, because it's the first pass looks great, and then the second one is just like a little bit off, and the third one's just a little bit further off. I thought about maybe steps per rotation, but other jobs that she ran for this episode, where it's like one big graphic or like a medium-sized graphic on the front and a medium one on the back, those are all turning out fine with multiple passes. So I'm assuming it has to do with just how many times I'm stepping through to like a new section and the acceleration. Does that sound right to you, just based off of my description?
Yeah. So how are you filling it? Are you doing it by object, or are you filling everything at once?
It's by like row. It's just it's like doing it all at once, I think would be like the technical setting in Lightburn. So it's just really doing the entire line of,
it's just a lot of little stuff that
it just
rotating through.
Step, right, to get all the way around the cup, because there's big gaps between the rows of like little icons. So it's a lot of times that it's like ramping up and then ramping down that acceleration over and over and over. And I think that's just killing my accuracy. So we've been working on that, and the whole steps issue thing didn't really occur to me until we were like done with the episode. So when you see it, those tumblers are going to suck, but I don't want that to take away from the fact that most of the tumblers looked very good.
I went to go try to find the one that Laura made for me. Laura made the most amazing beehive with like a little bee on it. For Ashley.
Yeah.
So, and I just went and asked Ashley, "Hey, where's that cup?" She's like, "It's at work because I use it every day." I was like, "Oh,
nice.
Crap."
Yeah, Rhiannon had all the tumblers from this episode out, like on the counters back where they had come from, because we have them on display in the showroom, and one giant white one was missing, and I was like, "Hey, where'd this like tumbler go?" There's like a blank spot there. You could see the dust ring where it was sitting before she started like filming the episode, and she's like, "It's in my backpack." I was like, okay. Oh, great, okay, you're stealing from work. But yeah, she did a lot of really great designs. She hand drew a lot of stuff. There's some like fan art in there, and just some really unique creative things. One of the things I asked her for the second I saw the rainbow tumbler was a cat vomiting a rainbow. I really wanted that. So there's just a cat, and it's not like a silly like kawaii one where it's like with like the rainbow pouring out. It's like a cat forcefully vomiting a rainbow, like it's sick, like it was like, so it's like angrily vomiting a rainbow
instead of like a peaceful vomiting where it just kind of goes like.
Yeah, one of the other ones that we came up with. Do you guys remember Nyan Cat? It's like a Pop-Tart cat and like bounces. It's like a rainbow coming out of its butt. You know what I'm talking about? No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. We did one of that, and it's like bouncing its way like around the cup, the whole circumference. So it's like the rainbow coming out of the back of it. And so that's pretty cool. But I won't spoil the whole episode. It's really good though. It should be out by the end of the week. I'm thinking maybe Friday based on where she's at on editing. So shout out to Johnson Plastics Plus. If you see those tumblers and you want to check them out, maybe pick some up for the holiday season, there is a link down in the description. It is good for 15% off almost everything in the store, including the tumblers and a bunch of other awesome laser blanks that you're going to want to stock up on for the holiday season. They do have shortages when we get right up close to Christmas. I know I've been warning you guys since like July. Maybe that's been overkill. That's fair. I'll agree to that. But now we're like, it's November. Okay. So you are going to start seeing things fall out of stock. It just happens.
Or shipping times just extended.
Yeah. Or shipping times. And trust me, Johnson Plastics Plus is usually super good about that. But when you get into
Can't help your carrier.
Dude, all the rules go out the window when December rolls around. So it's definitely time to hit them up. And doing so supports the show. So make sure, again, check out the link down in the description. Discount code YLRZDF. Save 15% off almost everything in the store. It helps support the podcast.
And by the way, if you want, Kyle is great at what Alex is talking about, helping you guys put together those products. I mean, you might have mentioned it while I was gone, but like this is pretty much what Alex was talking about. So I made these for a local company where they wanted something that stood out.
Yeah.
And there you go. Right. And same thing that you said, Kyle and I had a hard time figuring out like the little overstep situation, but there was basically one spot in it that Kyle was like, we're just going to make this overlap so that you can have a little, happy accident. And it's okay.
Can I see that again? That is a gorgeous tumbler. I love that one. That's so nice, dude.
So this was actually the one they didn't like. So I did this inverse, and they actually preferred the inverse one. And so this was just the one I was like, well, I will keep this one then. See? So
I'm looking for the seam, and I don't see it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And that's the thing. Like, if I was trying to find it, I highly doubt Kyle remembers where it is, because that was like literally like 2 years ago. But it's just one of those things. We did this on the CO2. Galvo, because I'm tired of things.
That was a live day thing, right?
I think
that one. I don't think we did live.
He and I just messed around with that one so we could get basically the taper right. Because the taper, even on these 20-ounce cups, like they are there. They're just really almost negligible. And when I say almost, it's right there at that bottom where you'll see like an issue.
Yeah, because they're like converge, right? So like you start to just see that overlap, right?
The smallest, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch, where it goes down from size, but it's enough where it's just like you have to be mindful of it. And the good news is toward the bottom, there's so much going on. That's such a busy design that like.
I mean, I didn't see it. I was actively looking for it, and I didn't see it.
So this is just one of those like really solid ones. And as soon as this one worked, I was like, time to do every one of them that I can right now.
Yeah.
Before anything messes up. And I think I made like 20 on that. That order was supposed to be like 56 or something like that. And I made 20 of them the very first day. The next batch looked pretty similar, but like I noticed the difference. But that's like a us thing. The guy, when I delivered them, the guy was like, these are incredible. I'm like, everyone is a little different. They're each their own work of art. And he was like, that's what we love. And I was like, good.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy.
Yeah. So anyways, but that's the kind of stuff you can do with it. And that was literally all from Kyle's help. Check out his files. Ask him for help. He's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys don't know it, there's a link down in the description where you can check out Kyle's Etsy shop. Kyle sells infinitely repeatable patterns. This is something he like mastered a really long time ago, is how to take a kind of like any kind of geometric shape and then make that tileable so that you can use it to cover like any amount of space, an infinite amount of space. And they're really, really cool. I need to spend more time using those actually, because I feel like they'd make pretty good demonstrations for all the laser reviews that I've been working on. I think they'd look really nice. The one that sticks out in my head a lot is like, it wasn't houndstooth, but it was some kind of like jagged pattern that you did
chevrons.
Yeah, like chevron. You did it into like slate, and it was deep, and it looked like really good. It made it almost look like a brick path. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did.
The knife.
I can pull it up. Hold on.
No, Kyle can pull it up.
I thought he did it into the knife too one time, like that, or like
a
razor.
I did.
Yeah, that one I remember thinking like, damn, that's solid looking. And the nice thing was he made like a perfect. Oh my god, man, my brain is so tired today. Like basically when he like a mask. There you go. He made a perfect mask from it, and then that's one thing that Kyle's really good at too, is helping you. Like if you're doing weird stuff and you're trying to make a template, like really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had an airplane part that I had to make, and it had to be within spec by like a millimeter or something like that, and I was just like, and Kyle was like, all right, here's your focal distance, take the focal distance and measure, and that should be the accurate value. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, is making geometric patterns into perfect seams an episode?
You bet it is. Yeah, I begged Kyle to do it because Kyle didn't want to give up his secret sauce, but he ended up folding and made a whole episode about it. I don't remember what it's called. I'll look that up while Kyle pulls up his image.
While you guys are doing that, I'm going to say hi to the chat. So, because I don't think that happened in like the 10 minutes I was gone looking for this cup. I had to wake up Ashley, by the way. That didn't go well. I was like, hey, where's the cup? She's like, what are you talking about? That was bad. So
before you say hi to chat, I found it already. Shit. Oh wow, we both found our things. All right, we'll get to you in a second, chat.
Okay, all right.
That's what I was talking about. That thing is sick. I love that one.
It kind of looks edited in, but this is an actual engraving.
Yeah, it like looks so good that it kind of has a fake feel to it. That's the one I was.
That's the inverse of it.
Yeah, wow. I like that one a lot. They're just so cool. So Kyle made all of these, and you can help support Kyle in his endeavors by hitting up his Etsy link. I think that's even an affiliate link too, so you support the show at the same time if you pick.
Yep, there's an exclusive 15% off coupon that gets auto applied if you click the link in the description.
Hell yeah!
And it supports Laser Everything.
I am not in a position where I can share my screen at the moment, but the title of the episode, to answer, I think it was Bunny Washer's question, is generate any infinite pattern easily in Lightburn for laser engraving. And that was a year ago. It's got 10,000 views, and that's entirely Kyle just giving up his sauce. I found it by searching YouTube for laser everything repeatable patterns, and it came up. So if you are interested in seeing that episode, you can check it out. If you don't want to do the work from yourself, you can support Kyle on the show by hitting up his Etsy shop. Make sure you go check that out too.
There you go. I just put everything he said in chat.
Thank you.
Have some B-roll.
Yeah, look at that.
Roll that beautiful B-roll footage. How many passes on that, said Laura?
Is this footage for your Etsy shop?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh-wee.
Pretty.
All right, here we go. You ready? Chat's incoming. All right, so first off, Yuri at 6:30 was the first person tagged in, and then about an hour and a half later, Laura said first. So almost, he's sneaky like that. So let's see, we got Brian Becker, Gulf Coast Laser Engraving. Richie, what's up?
What up?
Marco said howdy.
Howdy.
ET Laserwork said hi, guys and gals. And then we got Clayton Kumahone. I'm sure I'm messing this up. Kunahone from says aloha from Hawaii, Oahu. Everyone smash the like button. Hell yeah, Clayton.
Aloha.
Blue Snowman AK is back again. What's up, buddy?
We'll swing around to your question in a minute, bro.
Yep, we got a few of you guys already tagged. Chris Lazicki showed up. Mike C.
Ew.
Nipa, Santa said, hello from my last vacation in the Outer Banks before Santa's season starts.
Dude, I swear to God, I was gonna say like hello from the North Pole.
Yeah, right. Hello.
He'll be
from
slapping
the
us with that
North
soon,
Pole.
I'm sure.
Miranda talking about the spiciness. Of course, we got Laura keeping chat going. We appreciate you, Laura. Bunny Washer. I think we already said him. Jack in the Shop showed up. What's up, buddy?
What up?
Andrew Foot. He said that transition, though. And then Jack in the Shop said, are y'all running lasers tonight while listening to the stream? Oh, maybe he's running them. Let's see. Then we got one more I saw. Where did it go?
Oh, yo, Bunny totally got Neon Cat.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Bo the Maker. There you go. Bam. Got them all. I knew there was one more. Whew, what's up, guys?
I see questions in chat already. This one's immediately relevant, so I'm skipping ahead here. But Laura wants to know how many passes was on that, Kyle.
I don't actually remember. Those were just done one-off, so I had footage for the listing. But I want to say it was like 10 or 15 light passes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had auto rotation turned on, so angle increment.
Slate's pretty soft.
Yeah, it was hitting it pretty light. That wasn't like a super deep engraving pass or anything. I needed to fill this amount of time, and I wanted it to look effective. So
sure.
But I think it was like 10 or 15 passes at like a medium setting, and it was like an auto angle increment of 36 degrees. So every pass it incremented.
Cool.
To make a full circle.
I like it. So do you guys want to hear how some of these lasers reviewed?
Yeah.
Yes, and then there's also all the like you guys have been starring up the chat pretty good too.
That's good. Keep the stars going. We'll swing around second half. We got about 8 minutes left, and then we'll start working our way through questions.
Yeah.
So again, all of these written reviews, they're kind of sloppy. I don't have an editor, and when I read the same thing like 8,000 times, I start missing mistakes. So they're not perfect. They got fixed in the voiceover, but I didn't go back and like fix the actual writing for a lot of it. So it's rough, but if you want to read these reviews, you can, again, over at makearmy.io in the buying guide. They're super easy to find because of the new system we're using over there to keep things sorted and organized. The first episode you guys are going to see, again, hopefully tomorrow, is going to be the We Create Lumos, which scored an 8.3 out of 10.
Hey.
Yeah, that's post update. And I do spend a very solid chunk of this review talking about its old 4 out of 10 that I got in performance and why that section's score was updated. Later on, obviously, after the review came out. I also spend a good amount of time crying and complaining to We Create to please also update the Vision lasers. I'd love to do reviews on those machines still, but they're just going to be so bad, like as is. And I don't want to thrash them because I really like them. So I think those are some of the oldest ones that I still owe reviews to in the shop. And I really, really like those lasers, but I'm hoping that they'll come around and drop some bidirectional scanning for those, because I think that it would really benefit the user base big time. The other note in here, software and usability got a 6 out of 10. That was a 6 out of 10 on that, because it still doesn't seem to work with Lightburn for me. I did try 1.7, Kyle, and it still doesn't work super good. And I did some digging because I was curious. I was like, I can't be the only one having issues with this. So I dropped like We Create Lumos Lightburn into YouTube. No one, not a single video of a person using Lightburn with the We Create Lumos. I mean, not one, nothing. So I don't know. I kind of spin off on a tangent in that section, just being like, I don't know if this is really Lightburn compatible. Like, technically working with Lightburn and like something people can actually use on a day-to-day basis as like a viable option, I think are separate things. And so I make the argument that I wouldn't call this Lightburn compatible and ask for some updates there as well, so we can hopefully move on.
Hopefully it's just a quick firmware thing. I mean, we can hope.
We can hope. But yeah, even with that score, it would have scored better. This might have been a 9. This might have been a 9 laser. But even with the 6 out of 10 for software and usability, you got an 8.3. That's great. That's a great laser.
For the value of what you're getting.
Yeah. 8 and up is great. So that will be the first one you guys are going to see.
Pretty solid if you're not deadlocked on using Lightburn.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? We Create Make It, and again, I talk about this in the review. We Create Make It is just kind of a stripped down XCS clone or Xtool Studio clone. So if you're used to using that software and you're comfortable in that environment, then this is no big deal. It's very, very similar, and it has enough features that I didn't go out of my way to complain about any of them in the review. Things like being able to accurately set your line interval instead of choosing from a preset list of 10 options. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff is there. So it works. It does what it needs to do. Obviously, I'm missing things. I want like my dot width adjustment when doing raster photos, you know, like raster scanning for photos and things like that. But it's a vector-based editing software. It's responsive and it works. So I try not to ding it for that while I'm criticizing it for the lack of Lightburn support. And I think that comes through with the 6 out of 10. With the review block, because we are doing just like a big block of reviews, I'm sandwiching the bad ones in between the good ones. So you guys are going to get the Lumos first. It's a good review. Then following up, we're getting the R2. The Ortur R2 is their like medium-sized entry-level laser. It starts at $500. Starts at $500 for a not super good kit. The one that I reviewed was like $1,100 because it came with their 20-watt module. And this laser scored a 6.3. So that's fair at best. And it's a bummer because on this machine, actually, I gave the laser module section a 10 out of 10. They're amazing. Both the 1.3 watt IR module and the 20 watt diode laser module are freaking perfect. They're actually perfect. I mean, it's like excellence.
Yeah, you're pretty picky. So like
anywhere,
like you will find a reason to be like, this isn't it.
I never give 10s for anything. I'm giving 10s to these modules, both of them. One of the great things that happened while I was reviewing this laser was somebody brought in a giant like 12-inch brass plate.
Oh,
And
I remember this.
I had to do it all in one shot because I wasn't able, I just wasn't breaking it up right, and I didn't have the time to figure it out and get my like slid sections to line up. And I was down to my last plate. I had already gone through like 4 or 5 of them trying to get this just right. She's super picky. It was like going on a church. So I took the last plate and I threw it in there, dude. And the Ortur R2 did it with that 1.3 watt module. It ablated brass. And so I go into it a little bit in the review. We talk about how like, well, we're focusing much, much closer. We have a very, very small spot size, even compared to what you would normally see out of a fiber laser. You know, that 300 millimeter lens just explodes the size of your spot. And when you have a diode on a gantry and you've got a spot size that small, you can really do some serious work with it. And because it's on a gantry, you've got a nice big open space. So it came through. It did what it needed to do. And it's a very impressive little module. And then that 20 watts a beast. I cut through inch thick wood with that laser. I put inch thick. It was like construction pine or whatever.
That's 2 C's thick.
3 C's even.
Thick.
Yeah, it was thick. It's a boss. It's a really good module. It got really good spot size measurements. I think it was around 0.08 by 0.08 was the final measurement. That was a plywood measurement too, so you probably get it smaller on a better substrate. And it did gorgeous photos. Of course, you have all that room to work with. You're not limited to a small, like 100 millimeter bed. So you've got all this room and a really, really small spot for organics. This thing's doing like beautiful wood photos. It did great engravings. You've got bidirectional scanning, all that stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, so far this laser sounds pretty great. But then we get into like the one big problem it has, which affected a ton of the categories, which is that so if you picture a diode laser, you've got like your gantry, and then the middle gantry like moves up and down the sides, and you've got that big coiled over like cable bundle that has to follow the y-axis up and down as it moves up and down, kind of like snakes over on itself. They're saying that is too short, and because of that, when the laser homes, it's like being pulled back by the cords. And the long and short of it is that every single time it homes, it's landing on a different y value. So even though it thinks it's home, it's plus or minus like 5 or 6 millimeters. And so if you run something like a cut where you're not filling, you've got like a discrete outline that you need to follow, and you, let's say, don't cut all the way through. If you let that finish and it moves back to the starting position, and then you run it again, it will run the job in a new spot. And that is just like completely unacceptable to me. And so I hit it really hard in multiple categories. It gets hit in performance, it gets hit in software and usability, cost and value. All of those things take a hit, and a lot of it is due to this. It does it in both their really terrible app. They have like, it's called Inspirith or something like that. Awful. It's everything I hate about like consumer laser apps for phones, just like in one place. It restricts you. Remember I was saying like the line interval, you have like a drop down with like 5 options. Like that's kind of bullshit that you're dealing with in that app. The other thing I hate about that app is that everything is raster based. So let's say you type in some characters, you're like, hello world, and type it in. When you get to the preview, before you've even sized anything or positioned anything, it's already rasterized. So you can see the scan lines in the text. There's no vector-based editing at all. And that personally drives me crazy. I mean, it's obnoxious. So there's a lot of things I don't like about that too. So that also reduced it on a couple fronts. But the big problem is that homing issue. They told me that if I would if I sacrificed some of my Y space, so basically triggered the limit switch early to reduce tension because it wouldn't be coming so far back, that would solve that problem. But that didn't work for me. I reduced it up to like 80 millimeters, and it didn't do anything. So yeah, 80 millimeters off your 300 by 210 bed size. You know what I mean? So it's almost
3 inches. Yeah, that's
almost half the bed. So I didn't have any luck with that. We also got YouTube comments saying you could issue specific commands to the Gerbil controller by, using the Lightburn console to send some specific commands that would keep the motors rigid and locked in. I'll try it because I'm curious, but I don't think that's an acceptable solution. I don't think that everybody wants to issue commands.
All right. By the way, do you have a basic Python coding?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If you do, then everything's going to be great. Also, you're going to need a Linux operation system.
It's not ideal. So that one's again 6.3. It's fair. There's a lot I like about it, but for $300, you can pick up an Ortur Laser Master 3 and then just buy those modules and slap them on there. Done. They're 100% compatible. So you can have a really good laser that works 100% of the time, and you can still get those 10 out of 10 modules. So there's a lot of recommendations that I'd make there. But buying this one probably isn't going to be one of them. The R1 got a 4.2. And I don't even think I'm going to.
If you multiply that times 2, that is an 8.4.
If you want to find out why, watch the episode.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to let you guys watch that one.
Can you build a laser catapult?
I think
that you should just be like, let's launch this thing to Canada and take it to the river.
We have an active comment that from a bit ago that has a great response to that. If a laser scores less than 5, Alex should blast it with the highest power laser he has.
Yeah, I maybe lasered season 2. You know what I mean? Just like junk
You
'em.
need to buy a press, like the pneumatic press, and that can just be your shorts for the whole channel.
True.
Hey guys, come watch us destroy the stuff that doesn't hit 5.
The R1 would be terrible for that because it's ABS, so I'd probably poison myself in the process. But
Hey,
yeah,
you gotta
dude,
go out some kind of way.
4.2. This one was shocking. The only thing I'll mention about it is that the laser module did not come through on this one. So usually Ortur has like the perfect laser modules. It's been that way for a very long time. I've always really loved their laser modules, and this one has some very specific stats that differ from every other laser module in their lineup, and it's only sold with this laser that again comes in at $200. So they specifically designed a shittier module to put in their shitty $200 machine, and it's just the whole thing just belongs in the garbage. If you're listening to this right now, don't ever buy an Ortur R1 because it's the worst. Maybe an R2, you know, we could argue about that. We could have a conversation about it. Definitely a Laser Master 3. I mean, hell, I think there's a good argument to be made for buying a Laser Master 2, which you can still buy on their website. And I would recommend any of those lasers over this one. So
while we're on the topic, what was the wavelength variance of the R1?
Plus or minus 20 nanometers.
Which is actually a large enough range where it might actually fall off on protection value depending on the glasses you get.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even consider that, nor did I talk about it in the review. But that's a really good point.
If you want to share my screen, by the way, I can do
I
the
can see it
share
right there.
review.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. By the way, this is makearmy.io.
Yep.
And when you get there, you can click on the buying guide. It is there in case somebody decides, hey, you know what? Maybe a 4.2 is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want a science experiment, sure.
If lasers are toys, they would all look like the R1.
But lasers aren't toys.
Yeah,
They're
these feel
lasers.
cramped, cheap, and dangerous. So pretty good here.
It's a rough review. It really is, and it hurt to write it because I've been an Ortur fanboy for a long time, but it's just not there. So we'll leave that one at that. Moving on to the last one I have to talk about tonight, guys, and there's a few more. They'll probably come up in conversation. Like we've got the Mira 5S, the red line laser, finally shipped, and it's on the way. So we'll be able to take a look at the new red line from Mira after using the Mira 9 for all these years, and I'm really excited about that. I also bought with my own money the longer Ray 5 Mini, which is the, as of right now, cheapest laser you can buy on Amazon. And I'm really interested to see how that works out. I'm kind of excited to play with it. It's open frame. It's like a tiny little guy, and it just looks fun, but it could be terrible. And it very well may be. It was $123 shipped, which is just absurd. So
what's the wattage on it, by the way?
I think it's a 3.
Oh, okay. I figured 5.
It might be 5. Yeah,
I was pretty sure it was a 5.5 watt.
They have multiple configurations you can buy. I don't think I bought the cheapest configuration. Now that you mention it, I think there was a $90 like 3 watt version, and I didn't notice it until I had already checked out. But either way, the cheapest laser on Amazon. We're going to be taking a look at it because I'm mostly just out of curiosity. I didn't think Logger was going to send it to me, so I just bought it. And it's sitting on the showroom on the customer desk right now. So we'll be taking a look at that soon. We also have a review coming out soon for the Momport Reno. So that one is not written yet, but all the footage is shot. So I need to organize my thoughts, get it written, get it recorded, get it edited. So that one's kind of at the tail end of this review block we're looking at right now, but it will be up in the near future. So if you're curious about that, it'll be coming soon. Personally, I like it, which is weird because it's Momport, and I never thought I'd say I liked one of their machines, but I actually kind of like this one. So we'll talk about that more when that review comes up. But the last one that's written right now is the Algo Laser Pixie, which, if you look at it, is kind of weird because it looks exactly like the Ortur R1, but this laser scored an 8.2. Got an 8.2.
Share my screen.
I keep forgetting you can't do it. Oh, Kyle's got
There
it.
you go. Yeah. So,
Good.
by the way, here's the big old long list. Let's get into the Pixie.
Yeah, and before you even click it, back up.
Oh,
Back up, back up.
don't look.
As I talk about this machine, I want you to look at this. So go ahead. Yep. All right. So note the price on the R1, the fire in a box for your home that we were just talking about. Starting at $199.99. Look at the starting price for the Pixie. It's $179.99. It's actually cheaper. It costs less money than the R1 and got almost double the points, which is incredible. After, like, when you have the R1 in your cart and you're ready to check out, it's $229. And the 5-watt, this is the 3-watt version of the Pixie, is the $179.99. The 5-watt version of this laser is $229. It's the same exact price of the R1 for a 5-watt module, and it's so much better. It is so much better. So you can go ahead and click it.
He was so excited. Just so you know, like before he even started reviewing, he's like, "Gosh, look at this! Look at this!" He like pulled it out of the box. He was like,
"Dude, I love this thing. I love this thing the way I wanted to love the R2 and the R1."
By the way,
like,
knowing that he loves this thing so much, an 8.2. So that's why whenever he gives something a 10, you should listen.
Yeah, nothing else. There are no single category 10s in this review. It's all 9s, 8s, and 7s. But it's a solid machine. It's got an onboard OS that actually works. It actually does stuff. You get full laser control. You can store files and run them without any kind of outside peripheral. You don't need a phone. You don't need a laptop, whatever. The software is competent. It's got a lot of fun, neat little tricks up its sleeve. The whole thing is built really well. It's super premium. It feels good. It's got a touch screen to interact with that onboard operating system. You're not dealing with like lights and, weird like symbols and things to try to figure out like what's going on with your machine. It's all right there on the display. You get OTA updates for the firmware. So as long as the thing is connected to Wi-Fi, you can just update it independently of an app. You don't need an app. You don't need a PC. You don't need anything. It'll just update itself. It really is a self-contained little tool, and it's just a blast to work with. They did such a good job. I got amazing resolution out of the 5-watt module. The 3-watt version, I had the 10-watt rather. I got amazing resolution out of the 10-watt, and there's a 5-watt and a 3-watt that have even smaller spot sizes. I think the spot size on the 3-watt went all the way down to like 0.03 by 0.03, which is insane. It's insanely small, and all of the claims that they made on their website, including max speed, spot size, laser power, things like that, all checked out across the board. It was everything that it said it was, and that all came together to be more than what it said it was. It's just fun. It's small, and I really, really, really like it. I'm a big fan. It's designed really well. There's a lot of neat little design intricacies, like the normal work bed that you get right out of the gate has a grid on it for easy positioning. But then if you take out 4 little hex screws, you can flip the whole bed over, and there's a cut bed on the other side, like just built into it. And you just screw it back in.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Or the other thing that is, I think everybody notices when they take a look at this machine is it's got a little hammer that you use as your focal stick. And then when you're done, you can just hang it on a little hammer shelf on the back of the machine. It just sits there on like a little hook. So there's a lot of reasons to love it. I had a ton of fun reviewing it. Probably the most fun out of all of these machines. This is an easy recommendation for anyone, whether you're just getting started or you've been doing this a long time and you need something with a small footprint that you can walk around with. $179 for a photo machine at this size that only did photos, a great value. I believe the 10-watt version that I reviewed was $329, easily worth it.
Yeah.
Because unlike the R1, they didn't cut corners on that module. That module is really, really great. It's one of my favorite things about this machine. And it's just up to par, man. It's up to snuff, and it does its job really well. So I really enjoyed it. and I would recommend checking it out. But again, that'll be the last review out of the block that I publish before we get back to the ultimate processing guide. So you guys have all 4 of these reviews to look forward to. All 4 of them are completely shot. All 4 of them have the audio completely edited. It's just a matter of laying in footage and publishing them. So over the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, you guys will get these 4 reviews that you'll be able to check out.
Are you going to put the video links here as well, like the YouTube links?
Yeah, so if we go back to the bind guide, which is pretty cool, yep, and then just look for something that we definitely did one on, like the D1 Pro is a good one.
Yeah. No, not sure. There you go. There you go.
Yep, there you go. And then just scroll down a little bit. And there's no video link. Well,
that'll get fixed.
Usually there's video links there, and you can just click them.
Oh,
Hey, there it is. It's at the
you
bottom.
embedded it instead of linked it. There you go.
Great. So there are video reviews. They used to be at the top. Now they're at the bottom.
Oh,
That link doesn't work.
we'll fix it. But that's the whole thing. So video reviews are there.
Yeah, but there are. Yeah, so you can find the video reviews there if for some reason that's how you want to go about viewing them. But I would just recommend checking out the YouTube channel, honestly. So that's it. That's my update, guys. That's what I've been working on. I've been doing a lot to kind of get ready to get all this stuff out, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And hopefully we'll see some traffic on the channel for it, and you guys will get some value out of it. So that's that. And we've got 15 minutes left. I just talked for like a half hour. That's insane. So why don't we roll through some questions? It's question time.
Blue Snowman AK says, opinions on the one laser XRF. It's about the peak of current budget, but I want the US support. My opinion on it is I don't know anybody with it. So it's very difficult to form an opinion about it. But what I do remember about it is it's got a fairly small Z footprint. So when it comes to doing larger objects, you're going to be a little bit more limited than, say, if you got like an Omtech 20 by 28 machine. You can get 100 watt for cheaper than what the XRF would be, probably delivered plus the chiller. You're in Alaska, so maybe not, but I don't know. So it kind of depends. I don't know.
I feel like a big reason you would buy this is for the RF tube, right? So
it would be entirely for the RF tube.
Yeah, I'm making the assumption that you plan on marking with this rather than cutting, which is fine. I mean, RF tube will cut, but it's not going to do it as efficiently as a glass tube would. But if you're trying to get that detail out of a machine like this, I mean, the RF tube's the way to go. It's only 38 watts, so you're not doing any punishingly heavy work with this. I also don't recognize the controller, so I mean, it ships with Lightburn, which is great, but I don't know what controller it runs or what kind of pros or cons there might be to the controller they're running. But if it works with Lightburn, it works with Lightburn. It's worth checking out for sure. It's a little steep at $4,099, but it looks pretty nice. So
the reality of having an RF tube too is there is added cost just from that.
Yeah, but you also don't have to deal with a chiller, so that's something you don't have to buy. So you can take $500 off the price of this and pretend you bought a chiller while you're laughing all the way to the bank with your air-cooled RF tube. As long as it's going to do the job for you that you want it to do, I think just based on, do we have a bed size on this? I'm wondering how big it is. Like, is it really, really tiny?
It is 25.5 by 13 3/4.
I mean, that's fine. That's like the Ranger. I think it's actually pretty fairly priced. It looks interesting. I kind of like it.
For a desktop, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, for a desktop with an RF tube. RF tubes are expensive, dude.
Yeah.
That's the long and short of it. But yeah, as long as you don't have any illusions about its cutting ability, I think you'd probably really like it. I'm just based on what I looked at for the last 35 seconds. So
Does it have an exhaust port somewhere on
it
it?
must. There would be
Looking all
that would
around.
be absurd.
It's not going to have one. I can say that.
You just
Um,
they're gonna
I'm just
hotbox it.
making sure because I'm looking for like that weird thing that like there's
Oh, I
always
know.
something to me that like gets cut or overlooked, or they're like, this isn't for that, and then like the one thing you need it for, you get it, it arrives, and you're like, shit.
like Alex said too, the key factor of it having an RF tube and it being for like a good fit for engraving is, I think, the point that would drive it home on that. If that's what you need, good. But if you need like a more well-rounded, larger bed, like you're going to be cutting and engraving and doing other stuff, this is probably not ideal for you. But the RF tube really gives you that a properly set up RF tube gantry gives you the best possible chance for a small dot size.
Yep. Which is tough. It's tough at that wavelength. So if you are willing to spend a premium to get that smaller spot, then I'd say more power to you. But
yep,
as long as that's what you want. All right, you want to keep us rolling?
Next.
Got anything new coming to the Etsy shop?
He should be. He should be having new things coming to the Etsy shop.
Yeah. So again, I'm time gated. It's a rough time of year for me, and I bit off a lot this year with the house and getting a shop set up and other life things. But yes, I have several designs that I need to test before I put them up because I'm not the type of person that just puts stuff up to sell without making sure it actually works for its purpose and people are going to get their money's worth out of it.
Sure.
So I have designs that are going up, and then I also have the focal tools.
Yeah.
Those will be going up. And I have another thing that I designed that I need to finish alpha testing, and then beta test, and then that'll be up. But that's probably not coming until later. Soon, TM. Bunny Washer is making geometric patterns into perfect seams in episode. Oh, you guys covered that?
Yep, I mentioned that.
Jack in the shop. Y'all running lasers tonight while listening to the stream?
I think you're talking to everybody else in chat.
Yeah, I don't think that one's for us.
Matt, you're into printing stuff. Have you seen the longer UV printer coming out?
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it in chat because I knew we weren't going to get to it since we had all the other stuff to cover.
We got to it.
Yeah, and so long story short for that one is it could be the next iteration of what UFIMake is doing right now, which basically they've got a lot of proprietary stuff. So UFIMake has like buy our ink, buy our resin, buy our stuff, keep it in-house, kind of like when Glowforge and all those other companies came out. They always had that like proprietary stuff,
They're working on that walled garden ecosystem.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, they've got to pay off a really heavy investment. Like they basically took what was an industrial thing and they have now made it into something that can come into your home. So they got to make that money back. So I get that from like a business standpoint. Also, you can kind of control how your product does when the blanks that they use maybe come from you or work well with stuff that you created, or the resin, like they can control the quality of the ink going through their print heads and stuff like that. The other thing that was mentioned too was the fact that the longer it doesn't lock you in. But again, who knows would be my answer. Like it's one of those things. And then Bunny Washer and a couple other people had commented having any type of UV printer is like having a baby.
Oh God.
And that's why Alex refuses to.
I have enough of those.
He hates print heads. He hates inks because he had to do that a shit ton with Michael from Laser Engraving 911 ages and ages ago. So,
yep.
So anyways, I think it's cool. I think it might be the next iteration. It might be the next thing where it's like it's going to evolve for sure, and hopefully just get better and they start competing and prices lower and or access becomes better. So that'd be my take on it.
Cool. There you go. Does the Pixie size hurt it any?
The Pixie does a really good job for its size, but obviously when you're restricted to 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters, that comes with inherent downsides. One of them, the biggest one, probably outside of just the fact that it's 100 millimeters, is your spot hurts at that size when you only have that amount of room. And you don't really have that amount of room. You've got less than that because you've got overscanning that you have to contend with. So really it's like 80 by 80. And so that's small. 80 by 80 is like a 3-inch by 3-inch thing if you're doing like a full-size raster scan. And when you're doing that, when you've got a 3-inch square, you're trying to jam as many pixels into as possible when doing something like a photo, the resolution leaves a little to be desired. And that's not the fault of the Pixie necessarily so much as it's inherent to the size limitation. There's just only so much data you can fit into a square that size with a spot the size of the diode spot. That said, the diode spot, in my case, particularly with the 10 watt, is 0.08 by 0.08. It was fair. We got good photo results. I include them in the review, so you'll be able to see those when the review publishes. They're fine. They're not amazing, but they're fine. And if you use a better module for this task, so if you really want this to do little photos, you could look at something like the 3 watt or the 5 watt, which have like, and don't quote me on this, but like around a 0.05 squared or 0.03 squared dot size, which is way smaller, and you'd probably get much, much, much better detail out of that. The sacrifice there is that you kind of lose the cutting capability. The 10 watt is the bare minimum that I'd really want for not doing like many passes to like cut through a material. And it's really good at that. One of the things that I've kind of enjoyed doing with it is like engraving a little photo and then cutting it out, you know, in like fun shapes and things like that. That's worked really well. That's been fun for me. If you're okay with sacrificing that to get better photo quality, the spot size on the lower powered modules is going to be able to do a lot more with the same 100 millimeter bed. So that's kind of the worst of it, I think. Again, it's not Algo's fault. I feel like they did everything they could have with the technical limitations that come along with the area that you're working with. It's just kind of an inherent downside to, you know, working with a space that small. But you know, I
Question for you.
So yeah,
a couple of people in the chat have said like they're looking for things maybe at, like to take to the festivals and fairs and stuff like that to do like quick engraving. So it's like Alex and Miranda, you know, you put that on a thing. Would this be a good one for that, you think, or no?
This is a good one on a budget. Obviously, there's a time difference. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. You know what I mean? You could absolutely go to Xtool's website or WeCreate's website and buy the F1 or the Lumos for almost $1,300 and do those things much faster at comparable qualities. But you're spending $1,300. That entry level Pixie's $179. If you want something you can literally drop kick into your trunk and not have to worry about it while you're on the road, I mean, something that is the Pixie's form factor makes a lot more sense in that situation. You know, if you're buying something like an F1 or an F1 Ultra, or God forbid an F2 Ultra, right? Like that, you're buying that as like one of your powerhouse machine. That's like your main rig, you know. And
that's less a travel machine and more of a desk queen.
Yeah, and you can't afford to have anything happen to that. I could literally give a shit if anything happened to the Pixie, because
I almost think this would be a cool one just to have on your, like, in your booth doing something, just to kind of let people look at it, you know, like, wow, because it has the shield, it's got like a cool thing, people can just take a look, you know.
Yeah, it's super well designed for that, especially with the 455 nanometer beam, because there you're really just doing color cancellation with the acrylic. So the shielding at that point becomes really effective. I don't know how effective or ineffective their shielding is with infrared, right? I don't have the tools to test that at my disposal, but with the blue light laser, it's pretty simple, like wavelength cancellation with just making sure that you're coloring the acrylic right. It's not that difficult. So in that scenario, yeah, it's perfectly safe. And again, I think the main selling point, the target for a traveling audience would be that it's just so inexpensive that it doesn't matter if
it's 8 pounds
damage on the road. Yeah, it's 8 pounds. It's super easy to carry around, and it's cheap. So if you botch it or drop it or forget it at a convention center or something, you just buy another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where it's really serving its purpose.
The reality, if you're looking for like a super light travel machine, when it comes to stuff like that, is the cost, the trade-off on weight and space, and how effective it's going to be at doing the work you need it to do at the speeds you need. Yeah. So if you can only engrave three or four things in the span of an hour and a half long, like outdoor market, in the fall, like that's not going to be getting enough done for you to be making your money back, right? Like, you're not paying for your time at that point.
Well, are you bringing it to just kind of have as a prop, or are you bringing it because you want to mark things for customers while they're standing in front of you?
Yeah,
because
those
are very different use cases. Yeah. If you plan on like high turnover and you're going to have a lot of stuff coming in and out during your time there and that need to be delivered while you're there, maybe you should be spending $1,200-$1,300 on something like Lumos. That might be a better investment. So I think there's some play there for sure.
You want to talk about high turnover? Lightning round. This is answered.
Okay, last point about the Pixie. I also think it's really good for beginners, and I talk about that in the review a lot. But with the Pixie, you can turn it on and draw a smiley face on the screen and hit start, and it will engrave the smiley face.
Okay,
and
that's cool.
Like, it's cool. You just don't need to know anything about lasers, and it does it in a really safe and simple way that makes it fun and engaging to start with, while still allowing you expandability all the way up to light burn, and like doing like advanced things with light burn to really get every drop of juice out of that machine that you possibly can. And it doesn't limit you along the way. So I think it's really great for beginners to take from literally drawing the smiley face to those advanced techniques, and everything in between you're going to be able to cover with that machine, albeit with the small bed size. So yeah, big fan, obviously.
Yep.
Okay, lightning round.
Chris says the latest update to Lightburn 2.0.04 fixed all of the issues he had from the original 2.0 update. So that's great. There's a lot of people who have been holding back going from 1.7 to 2.0 just because of random growing pains, right? So that's good to hear. Yep. Wilcox Ranch, does the little Pixie come with the air extraction? And they were also looking for something cheap for personalization.
Yeah, it could work well for that. The air extraction is not filtered, right? And it's not an exhaust. So on its own, it is worthless. It needs to be hooked up to something that's actually going to do something with the fumes. But it does have a really handy little kind of like bayonet style screw-on attachment that gears it up for, I think it's like a 3-inch hose, and it's ready to go. It just locks right onto the back of the machine. You get your hose clamp, you can slap it on there, and you're done. If you need a like fume extraction system where you're actually going to be filtering those things, that's something you're going to have to purchase separately. While I was doing a lot of the reviews, I was using X Tools, and it worked great with the X Tool fume extractor. So I was using that to like bring it into the office instead of having it out of the shop. That worked fine.
There you go.
Robert Hamilton, any good opinions on any good CNC plus laser machines? My opinion is don't combine CNC and laser machines.
That's fair. Get like an X-Carve. Right?
Yeah, if you want to do CNC, do CNC. That's cool. I just do not like combining dust with laser equipment intentionally.
Hmm.
It's just not a great time. It adds to your fire risk. It's messy. It increases your odds of screwing up your optics or just burning out a module or a source or whatever type of laser you're working with. So in my opinion, just don't combine them.
You know what's been surprising to me as I've kind of learned about material science?
Yeah.
How many different kinds of metal dusts are flammable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, but neither here nor there. It's lightning
My
Right.
2 cents on that is the only machines I've seen with CNC and lasers that are effective are the ones that are well into 6 figures and that are made to do industrial work.
Yeah.
So that's it.
The other downside, and I'll make it quick too, if you're doing CNC stuff and you want to combine lasers into the same box, the problem with that is the changeover to them, while on paper seems simple, you're never going to want to do it because it's going to take you a half an hour to 45 minutes to do the changeover from one to the other and then from the other back. So if your time frame that you can spend in the shop is only an hour or two a night at most, and you already have a ton of CNC work or you already have a ton of laser work, you're never going to switch to the other one because the machine's going to be tied up and you're going to spend half your time or more just making it fit for the other thing. It's just, in my opinion, you're better segregating the two.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like the framework needed for the torque and for the fact that of like the going back and forth across the X and Y. I know, lightning round, I know. But that's pretty much it. And then also just the torque for like using the CNC.
You guys suck at this.
Well, sometimes lightning is like cloud to cloud. I know you don't have that up north, but sometimes
What's
it just
a cloud?
rumbles.
Quick response. Blue Snowman AK says the XRF was intended or his use case would be not a lot of cutting.
Yeah, there you go.
Some light up to 1/4 inch acrylic. So yeah, if the bed size fits your needs and you don't require a lot of depth, then maybe it's a good fit for you.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Chris uses his X-Tool F1 as his travel rig. Found an old Rode audio equipment box that fits the filter and laser in the original foam with a laptop in the cord perfectly.
Well done.
Sweet setup.
Nice thing about that means he can beat the shit out of the Rode box too. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Jack uses his plasma torch on his CNC router.
Jack is crazy experienced, and also Jack is crazy. So
Jack knows the risks and knows how to mitigate them.
Jack's lived a full life. Okay, so all right, guys. Well, that's the end for this one. That one got Matt. That's the end for this one. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Laser Source Podcast. Would you guys I want you to drop a comment on your way out today. Let me know if you think it would be funny if me, Kyle, and Matt got together and did an episode where we roasted your laser setups, right? If you want to see us like roast plasma torch CNC, I think that'd be really fun. If that's something you want to see, leave a comment and let me know. Only comments count, okay? Don't DM me on Discord. I want you to leave a comment after the stream is over. Let me know if you think that'd be funny, because I think that would be pretty fucking hilarious.
See this bullshit behind me all the time.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna roast the fuck out of yours.
This is literally just a hot mess. Always.
We're gonna do that first. So
we can roast our own setups for the first episode.
Yeah, let me know if you think that sounds fun in a comment after the show. Anyway, one more shout out to our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus. Thanks for making the show possible, guys. If you're here live, we really appreciate having you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and giving us so much feedback and just kind of like things to bounce our crazy ideas off of. It's great having you guys here live with us every week. If you want to be here live and you're not, you can join us Tuesdays at 9:00 p.m. on the Laser Everything YouTube channel. That would always be a good time. We love seeing new faces over here as well. And if you want to support the show, make sure you check out masters.lasereverything.net. It's the Laser Master Academy. It's the #1 way to support the show. Get a bunch of awesome bonus goodies for signing up. There's a great community over there, and it helps fund all of the things that we're working on constantly for the community, whether it's honest reviews where we're not paid to shill an ad for you guys, or if it is a website feature or a bug that needs to get fixed or a new laser oriented tool or our tutorial series. The new one is the ultimate guide to laser processing. All of that stuff is made possible thanks to our supporters. Like 93% of our income is directly from supporters. If the Laser Master Academy seems a little overwhelming when you get there and you just want to throw us a couple bucks, you can also check out the Patreon or the coffee. You can find out all about those things over at lasereverything.net/support. And I think that's all I've got.
I made a You Can Book Me finally.
What? Announce it.
Oh yeah, I just put it in chat. It's literally just elccreations.youcanbook.me. If you're somebody who's interested in taking your business to the next level, or even if you already are at that level that you want, but you just want somebody to like help spitball some new ideas, or how to get those ideas out to people so you can turn them into cash, or
amazing.
Especially how to work with schools. I just got an order for $3,000 from a school just for trophies. That's it. They want gifts and trophies. Done. Really easy.
You get a trophy, and you get a trophy.
They come back every year because they're just like, hey, thanks for making it easy. They roll up to my garage door. I open it up. I shove it in the trunk, and they're like, bye. That's it.
Yeah, that's great, dude. I've been asking you to do that for a long time, so I'm glad you followed through.
Apparently it's been working, but kind of not working. You know, it's like I had something set up. I don't know, whatever. But yep, take a look at it. Feel free to contact me. I'm pretty much available every night from 6 to 10. And then on weekends, whenever.
Yep. And Kyle, maybe we can add that to the description after the show if you don't mind.
Yep.
And we've already slurped all over Kyle's D. There's links to his stuff down in the description.
You mean we slurped over his description?
His description. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. Pew.